Hi, in this video we are going to learn about the power rules. So first of all, let us see the rules. I will call this one as rule 1, and the first rule is if there is a base and exponent like this, a to the exponent m multiplied with a to the exponent n, the exponent will always get added. So whenever there is a multiplication, the powers get added. You can remember this just by making sure the multiplication is made up of two sticks. If you flip the stick, it becomes addition. So whenever there is a multiplication, the exponent gets added. Now let us see some examples based on this. 7 square multiplied with 7 to the exponent 6. So if we have problems like this, since it is in the form of multiplication, we will add the exponent. As a result, the answer would be 7 to the exponent 8. Now let us see another example. 6 to the exponent 4 multiplied with 6 to the exponent 11. No matter what is the number of exponent, it may be 100, 120, 1 million, doesn't matter. If they're in the form of multiplication, the exponent will always get added. So 4 plus 11 means 15. So this is the answer. Now let us see another example, but this time we'll see an example with algebra. So even if there is a variable like this, make sure that the bases are same. Otherwise, we won't be utilizing the power rule. So in this case, x 4 plus 6. Why? Because it is in the form of multiplication. Hence, the answer is going to be x to the exponent 10. Now let us see another example and perhaps the final one. Y to the exponent 7 multiplied y to the exponent 8. So because y is the same base, so we write y here, and because it is in the form of multiplication, we add the powers. As a result, the answer would be y to the exponent 15. Now let us see rule number 2. The rule number 2 is quite an exciting one and easy as well, because it can be easily related to rule number 1. If there is exponent like this, but instead of multiplication the operation is in the form of division, what to do? When such things happen, we subtract the power. So in case of multiplication, we add the exponent, and whenever there is a division, to remember it very easily, just remove the dots of the division and you do subtraction of the exponent. So let us see some examples. So in this case, we see over here that it is in the form of division. So the powers will get subtracted. As a result, the answer is only 7. We usually do not write 1 at the top whenever the answer comes as 1. So we keep 7 as the answer for this. Now let us see some more examples. 12, 7 divided by 12, 4. If this is the math, this slash is actually the division, so nothing to worry. So the math is going to be 12, 7 minus 4. As a result, the answer would be 12 to the exponent 3. Now let us see a final example, and this time with algebra, especially a variable. So let us choose s to the exponent 10 divided by s to the exponent 3. Now because it is in the form of division, we will subtract the exponent. As a result, the answer would be s to the x power 7. So these are the power rule that we have learned, rule number 2. Now let us move to another rule, and this is quite interesting, and I will call it as rule 3. Well, if there is exponent like this, n, outside the bracket you have exponent and inside the bracket you have exponent. So basically a to the power mn. Now mn over here means that m is multiplied with n. So whenever there is a bracket like this, you see a bracket and the rule goes m multiplied with n. Now let us see some example. These are quite easy to do. 4 square exponent 6. So according to that rule number 3 that we have learned, 2 should be multiplied with 6. As a result, the answer would be 4 to the exponent 12. Now let us do some more examples. 2 to the exponent 7. Here I give 10. So it would be 2 7 times 10. As a result, 2 7 tens are 70. 2 to the exponent 70. Now let us move to the next problem. 3 6 and we give 4 here. So 3 6 multiplied with 4. As a result, you get the answer 24. So now let us move on to the next rule. But before moving on to that, let us see one more example where we use a variable like x. So what should be this one? 4 multiplied with 5. So I'm not doing that step. X to the exponent 20. So this is the rule whenever there is exponent outside the bracket. Now let us move on to another rule, which is rule 4. And I tell you, I really like this rule a lot because in a lot of problems you will be facing this rule, and every time this comes up it's fun to do. A to the power negative m. Now just look at the top over here for a while. If you observe the top part, you do see that negative m is actually a negative exponent. Now we always try to keep the answers in terms of positive exponent. So we convert that into a positive exponent by making its reciprocal 1 by a, and as we do so, the exponent becomes a positive exponent. Now let us see an example of this. If we have a problem 7 negative 2, the answer would be 1 by 7 square, and hence we can further break it down as 1 by 49. Well, let us see some more. If we have a problem like this, 8 to the exponent negative 6, the answer would be 1 divided by 8 6. We are converting this negative power to a positive power by this rule. Now there is a slight twist in the rule, but I'll be showing that after we go for more examples. 7 and there is a negative exponent 3. 1 divided by 7 3. So this is how you can convert the negative exponent into a positive exponent. Now there can be a problem like this that can come. Say for instance, you actually have a negative exponent in the form of reciprocal. In this case, the answer would be 7 square, because you are actually following the same rule but in a different way. If 1 to the power a negative exponent, you put that on the numerator and it becomes a positive exponent. So this is the tricky part of the rule, but you can actually recall this or break it down as well with the rule that we have learned. Well, let me show you that in a very simple way. Like the rule is 1 divided by 1 by 7 square, right? That is the real rule that we have learned, converting the negative exponent into a positive exponent by using the power rule. Now our next step would be 1, since it is in the form of division, multiplied with 7 square by 1. So the answer comes out to be 7 square, which I wrote here directly at the top, as you can see over here. So make sure you are very much used to doing like this, because it will erase a lot of your time. Now let us learn the final rule, which I call the most easiest rule to remember as well as the fun rule. So the rule is the final rule. So I call it as rule 5. Exponent anything to the power 0, the answer should always be 1. So even if 1 million is given to you like this, or like 1000, and the exponent is 0, nothing to worry, just close your eyes, write down 1. Anything to the exponent 0 is 1. May it even be an algebra as well, the answer is 1. So these are the 5 rules that you need to know while you solve problems based on power rules. It doesn't necessarily mean that every problem is going to come with individual power rules, but there can be problems where all the power rules may be used together. So I show you one last example where I'll be giving you a hint of how all the power rules can come into action while you solve a problem. So 2 to the exponent 6 if you observe this problem very well, it consists of multiplication, division, as well as the bracket rule together. Now let us do the next line. Since it is in the form of bracket, if you could recall back, we have a rule that is a to the exponent m and n. Whenever they're in the form of bracket, you actually multiply the exponents, correct? So this is what you do. So the first step is 2 to the exponent 6, and you actually have to do 6 times 2, making it 12, multiplied with 2 to the exponent 7 divided by 2 to the exponent 4. Now what will be your next line? Your next line will be doing the division part. Why? Because we will follow the order of operation: division, multiplication, addition, and subtraction. So if we do this part, it's definitely going to follow the rule a to the exponent m divided by a to the exponent n, and we know that whenever there is a division, the exponent gets subtracted, m minus n. So let us do it. So now let us do it. If we do so, we actually get the result coming as 2 to the exponent 7 minus 4, which we directly can write it down as 2 to the exponent 3. Now 12 multiplied with 3. Now it goes with the multiplication rules where we add the powers, which is 12 plus 3 is 2 to the exponent 15. So in this particular math, you probably have found out that we have used 3 rules connected together: the division rule, the multiplication rule, as well as the bracket rules. So just be careful while you solve the problems, because all the maths are going to be consisting of these 5 rules. So in order to make it more simple, let me write down the rule and recap for a while. A to the exponent m multiplied with n, it should be a to the exponent m plus n. The second rule, a to the exponent m divided by a to the exponent n, and because it is in the form of division, we basically subtract the power. The third rule, if it is in the form of negative exponent, in order to make it a positive exponent, we actually make a reciprocal of it. The fourth rule is that whenever we have exponent in the bracket and outside the bracket, we multiply the exponent at the top. So it is m times n. And finally, no matter what is the number, if the exponent at the top is 0, the answer is always 1. Hope you enjoyed the video and have learned how to solve problems based on power rules, and I'll create a new video based on solving some more complex problems on power rules.